So we're going to start off with a session in which Laura Szabo, who is a partner at Karangid, did I get it right? Karangid, is going to be leading a session with Amit Singh, who's the head of business at 99 Acres in India, and Jared, Swiecicki, close enough, who's the CEO of Grupa Horizon and Gratka in Poland. So I'm looking forward to this session about growing marketplaces without hurting the existing revenue streams. So Laura, over to you.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We should let the coffee inside as well.
So, hello everyone who joined us after the break now. Maybe we do a quick intro session first. Then, Amit, you want to start?
Sure. I'm Amit, and I take care of the secondary broker business at 99 Acres. I've been into the product management side of 99 Acres earlier, and recently moved into the business role. Really enjoying the monetization journey of 99 Acres after almost, maybe 15, 20 years of being into existence into the real estate classified side. Over to you, Jarek.
Okay, Jarek Swiecicki, for you, Simon, to pronounce. I'm co-founder and CEO of MZN Property. We operate both real estate vertical Horizon, we operate horizontal side Gratka, and we operate one of the largest mortgage brokers in Poland, so Lendy.
And my name is Laura Szabo. I am a partner at Karangid. We work with real estate marketplaces in consulting in business and product, especially on the non-exclusive markets, like these two portals. I mean, we haven't worked with Jarek, but we have worked in Poland before. We have clients in Asia and in Europe. And the reason of this panel, it might be quite unusual because of the geographical mix. But what we want to show here that there can be similarities and also differences in operation when it comes to the excellence part. So both of these portals are present on the market like 15, 25 years ago. And traditionally, they started operating in secondary homes and rental. And maybe you can tell a little bit more about that how you excelled in that area. And Jarek, you mentioned about the acquisition and about the merge with the Gratka and Horizon merge. So you could tell us somewhat more that how you managed to grow with that.
Okay, so in general, we were, when we began, we were like number 4 or 5 player. And then when you think about growing, you have to think how to do it. One of the ways is of course, by mergers. We did several of them to grow both the ARPU, both the customer base. And the last one we did was in 2020, when we were the number 2, 3, and one of our competitors, they said they were number 2, we were saying we're number 2, and we had a huge competitor, so Naspers, who was the market leader in Poland. And then we decided to merge to really create a strong number 2. And of course, when you merge, you basically wanted to provide to change gears and to provide a completely new offer to our customers. So practically immediately after the merger, so we've merged just at the beginning of the pandemic in February, March 2020. And already in the autumn, we have launched a new offer to all our customers, shifting all the customers, both from those who were on Horizon and those who were on Gratka, to one single offering that consisted of all the portals we were operating. And of course, when you do this, the biggest challenge is not to lose, is to grow the ARPA and to grow the revenue, not to lose any revenue. And you have 3 groups of customers, one that are exclusively on one portal, one that are exclusively on the second portal, and those that are on both portals. And those that are on both portals, which were 30-40% of all of them, they constitute a biggest challenge because you don't want to lose that revenue.
So how did you convince them to join in this merged package?
So all of them were shifted to a single package. But what was the challenge was that the price level was roughly, if we say the prices for Horizon were 1, for Gratka were 1, so combined prices were like at 1.80 roughly. So of course all the customers that were on Horizon got a huge price rise. All the customers on Gratka also got a big price hike, but actually those that were on both before the merger, they would get a quite significant discount. And in order to combat that and not to lose revenue stream, we introduced like the 3-tier packages, so good, better, best. And while we shifted all the agents that were on just one portal, we shifted them to one of the lower 2 packages. We shifted those that were on both platforms. We shifted them to the Pro, to the most expensive package, offering them more value-added services, just in order not to lose the revenue during the process.
And where did the growth come from more? Is it like the number of clients, or was it the ARPU in your case?
Growth came, depending how you count the number. Well, we had customers on Horizon and customers on Gratka. We didn't want to lose. Of course, since there was a very big price hike, we lost some. But I mean, the manageable level. I mean, you always have to take that into account. But if we have grown ARPA so much that it definitely offset the lost customers. And of course, you know, it's super tricky. It was like when you combine portals and you go with the one offer, it's super complex from the analytical point of view. You know, we had like really several dozens of groups of customers, each with completely different communication, different information to be sent, different prices, which just to tell one of the, let's say, things that didn't go right, one of the groups with sent information that, by the way, now it will be on both Horizon and Gratka, not just on one portal, blah, 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 and you're going to pay for this 1 zloty. That was the mistake of the communication system during the merger and sending out the communication. They got information, this group of customers got information that their new price point will be 1 zloty per month. For those of you who don't know what's the worth of the zloty, 1 zloty is roughly 25 euro cents. So that's, you know, maybe Eastern Europe is a bit cheaper than Western Europe, but not that much. So then we had to take back this and fix that problem. Yeah.
But overall, it was a success story.
Yeah.
So this is a good example of increasing ARPA and keeping the customers and increasing the number of customers in order to grow revenue. So how did you do that in India when you were focusing on secondary and resale market to increase revenue? Which was where did you put your focus on?
So India is a very different market. I mean, it had always been very, very competitive. So every time you want to raise prices and you lose market share. So it was a complex story. And it's not like that the new agents are coming to the market every now and then. So it's a finite set of audience that you monetize. And you have a challenge of not being able to increase prices because of the market share challenges. So how do you really get people to kind of give you more money? And the route that we took in the early days were to make sure that we are able to create competition between brokers and brokers. And we tried a lot of things. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. But the variant of the bidding system where we fundamentally changed the search ranking algorithm to say that last in, first out is not going to be the philosophy. It's going to be more to do with the one who kind of pays more, the one who bids more, gets to get more visibility. And that helped us monetize the same set of customers without cannibalizing revenue from the existing clients, but increasing the velocity of their consumption, making sure that they're able to renew faster, making sure that people who are paying more are able to get more value out of the system. I think that fundamentally kind of created a good positive story in the market for us. And today we actually have higher double-digit numbers contributing to our secondary broker revenue in that sense.
And was it difficult to convince them that that this kind of performance-based pricing actually is giving them more value?
Well, yes and no, because some of the smarter agents would typically understand this. So in some form or the other, they would tend to kind of game the system by either refreshing the listings or posting more listings so that they're able to get higher visibility on the system. But I think by regimenting the variant of bidding system, you are able to create a uniform playing field for everybody. And initially, maybe 5% of the people were gaming the system, but now everybody had the ability to be able to put money and get the exposure that they want. And in hindsight, it seems like a very easy thing to do, but to be fair, I think we failed maybe twice, two or three times before we were able to get our go-to-market, the communication, and the entire monetization strategy, the model in the market. And it took some time for the market to also understand on how to react, because it's a B2B thing. So it's not like that you change the search one day and all the brokers are going to kind of change their systems. So yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting way to monetize secondary homes. I would say that another challenge that a portal could face in your business when opening up to other kind of clients, not just brokers. So when new developers and commercials come to the site, and I think you both faced this challenge and did some changes on the traditional offering. So Amit, you want to start with that?
Sure. It's actually a work in progress, and we're very excited because we are an old company, and initially we never really had any separate new development vertical. And it's also a function of every market. So India as a market, there are a lot of new developments are happening, and that had been a trend of almost about 15 years back. At that time, we only had secondary broker business. With changing market dynamics, we understood that having a separate product for those consumers who are looking for new development can actually enhance value to the advertisers who are now lapping up to the new development area. So we have developers marketing their products. We have brokers or agencies marketing products on behalf of developers. And we realize that there is a very different market for new developments where the volumes of the units to be sold are quite high as compared to every secondary listing, which is unique in some sense or the other. So what we did was we actually created two different models in the initial years. One of them failed, but the other one worked out for us. One was the subscription model from a classifieds perspective, where we create a separate user journeys for users looking for new developments. And the other one was the transaction model, where we tried to help sell the inventory on behalf of the developers. We got some success on the classifieds model, and now today we have a very strong representation of the contribution of new projects development into our top line. And on the transaction business, we shut it down after certain challenges, and in a long story short, I think our ability to monetize that business as an agent or a channel partner was not there owing to the market dynamics, and our account receivable bills kept on increasing, and we had to write off bad debts. So that didn't work for us, at least not in the last avatar.
Okay. And as of now, what is your model for the developers?
So it's interesting because sometimes we also ask this question and we get multiple answers because we started with the pure play subscription model. So we give you visibility, and the leads that you get are your leads. But over the years, I think what's happening in the market is that the fundamental of saying that these are my leads no longer exist because leads have become very commoditized. So a user who is looking for a new home probably would be using multiple portals, must be using certain channel partners and various other offline medias like Google and Facebook. So the ownership of the lead has probably become a little bit more commoditized. So the narrative is starting to change. The market dynamics are changing. We are talking about metrics like cost per qualified lead. A lot of emphasis is now coming up into what is the qualification of the lead, what is the intent of the lead, and are we able to kind of get the lead to do the site visit. So these are certain dynamics that we are witnessing in the changing market, and we are trying to figure out how to kind of make use of this changing ecosystem to monetize better. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would say.
And I think it's worth to mention here that in India, the dynamics are a little bit different when it comes to lead collection, because you actually can collect leads. And when the seeker is on your platform, they provide you their lead in almost every case, like most of the cases.
Yeah.
And you don't just collect phone clicks like European portals do.
Okay. Yeah.
So that the lead generation and the qualification of the lead, it's different mechanics there.
Sure. You know, I think every portal has got a very different way to kind of collect the lead, and we are still struggling and trying to figure out how can we get better in terms of creating qualified leads and better understand the user journey. Somebody in the early part of the presentation yesterday mentioned that the home buying journey is actually not a linear journey. It's a very complicated and a complex journey. So for portals, the ability to understand the qualification of the lead in the journey is actually very important. And I think the market is moving towards understanding where the lead is positioned in this complex journey and closer to the transaction so that the right valuation for the lead may happen. And I think, you know, I can clearly see that in an Indian market, Indian context, the ability to really qualify the lead might help us get better and better in terms of monetization.
So you might get back to transaction again after some time.
Yeah,
so it will be an interesting journey.
Sure, yeah, we all rooting for it.
And how does it go in Poland?
Okay, so like I said at the beginning, when we're starting with like a perennial underdog, so we always had to look for new ways to monetize and to look for new adjacencies or for niches. So one of the adjacencies we went into were mortgages, but I discussed it last year, so it was a huge success. At the moment, over 20% of mortgages in Poland go through our network, our brokerage. But the other thing was new homes, as in your case. So in general, we consider ourselves a number 2 player in Poland, but we noticed that our position in the new homes market is much weaker. So we are number 3. There's also, apart from Naspers, there's one local vertical focusing purely on new homes, and they had a great success in Poland. So we were actually number 3. So our position was not satisfactory, and we were thinking how to do it, how to challenge the market. We've had for all the years, we had the offering for developers, but it was always like a side business for us, meaning always agencies were generating like 80% of the revenue, developers few percent of the revenue, and we really didn't have time and focus on that, and also for the sales team and so on. So when we were thinking how to approach it, we decided like to create an internal startup that would had internal P&L, would be separately funded with separate budget, separate people running it, and also separate portals. So we created nowoinwestycje.pl, so the site dedicated to new homes, thanks to also Homesters, the technology, so the company that provides this opportunity to portals. So we established that, what was that now, like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And when we were thinking, so one way was to have a separate portal, but the other thing was the offering. So traditionally, we're offering the typical listing model for developers. We had some trials with the lead-based, but we didn't really focus that much on the lead proposition. And when we decided to go full speed into new homes, we decided that we go to lead-based model of payments, and eventually to go into transactions, so to charge developer after we initiated and help them close the transaction.
And how fast can you do this change, or what is your approach towards when changing one model to the other?
And so we continue with the listing. But we have rules that, for some customers, we do not offer the sales team is forbidden to offer the listing because simply when we try to evaluate every project, how many leads we can generate. And if we find that for us it's better, we can really generate a lot of leads, then we do not offer a listing possibility for that developer. So that was the first change we introduced. And also for us, as back then number 3 in new homes, the leads were a great equalizer of the field because, like you said, leads are commodity. So the bigger players couldn't tell that they have something better. We're saying, okay, we have the leads. If you don't trust the lead quality, work with us for a month or 2, you'll notice that our leads are good quality. We proved that our leads are good quality. And when developers started to have trust in our lead generation and lead quality, the sales picked up at really fantastic speed.
And how was the market like? What was the market dynamic, the real estate market?
What helped us was that when we launched in 2022, the market was in a downturn. So really we had a great product market fit because developers were back then started to be desperate about leads. So that helped us a lot. And now, from the beginning, we were thinking that the leads will be just a step towards moving into transactions. So now we moved into transaction this year. So we have also testing. This year for us is like the testing waters of transactions. So now we have like close to 30 projects we sell ourselves. So we are testing how it works. Because of course, with the transaction, what happens? With the lead, you get paid immediately. With the transaction, you need, first of all, to provide more effort of your people.
Yeah.
And second of all, you get paid after the transaction takes place, so there's more risk on your side. But it's going good.
Let's see this next year, how that went.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have time for questions, so if we could bring the questions up if you have some.
Oh.
Amit, it's a question for you. Difficult to see it from here.
Quite a bit leads, Mrs. Roy.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll help you out here. Grab a seat.
Thank you, Simon.
We'll make it really easy.
Yeah.
Okay, Amit, you talked about lead ownership and the difference between qualified leads and raw leads. Can you quantify how much more important the qualified or exclusive leads are?
You know, this is a very interesting question because who are the players in this equation? There is a developer and there is a marketplace. Now, every developer has got a different perspective of what the lead means to them. The same lead could be a raw lead for developer A, but could be extremely valuable for developer B. So how much more valuable is actually a function of the market in which you're operating. Typically, I would say it could be anywhere between 5x to 10x. But there had been instances where developers are more than happy to pay, obnoxious amount of money for a qualified lead.
Okay, there's another question here,
Sure.
which hasn't made it there,
Yeah.
which is all about, do you think the whole transaction for new homes will take place via the marketplace in the future?
Maybe the right question is, do you hope that this happens? I certainly hope so.
No.
A lot of
But
hope.
I have a point over there. See, the thing is that it seems inevitable to me because these are all market inefficiencies, and it's just a function of time and technology to be able to bridge these gaps. So if we continue to kind of find out where these leakages are, and we continuously work towards, look at where we were 10 years back. We attended PPW back then, and then we used to talk about an entity called a new project, a new development, which, and we have come a long way from there in terms of, Imran just talked about how complex the systems they have developed in terms of sales calls efficiencies, in terms of tracking of leads, in terms of managing the entire life journey. My sense is that it's a matter of time, and slowly and gradually the market is going to evolve to accept marketplaces as potential entity who would do transactions.
It also, I would add, it also depends on what kind of property we are talking about on these markets, because in secondary homes it's quite challenging with all the non-exclusivity and the multiple mandates. It could easier happen with new developments.
Sure.
I'm not sure who this is directed at. Maybe Jarek for you. Do you try to offer additional financial services related, such as insurance and mortgage brokerage? And I know you talked about it last year, but maybe you want to just recap briefly.
Yeah, so we've launched the mortgage brokerage operations in 2016. Initially, we thought it will be like fully digitalized, but we soon learned that you need a really full-fledged brokerage network to manage mortgages. So we created a network. Now we have like over 1,800 mortgage brokers around Poland. We channel all our leads that we generate so we try to generate as many leads from our portals and funnel them to that network. But the truth is that the brokerage needs to buy the leads. They are looking for leads every day. It's so big now that they are looking for leads everywhere across whole the digital field in Poland. So yeah. And last year, yes, we ventured also into the insurance. So apart from mortgage, we also run now the insurance brokerage.
Now, if we were looking at total revenues for your business, what percentage is coming from this sort of mortgage and insurance type products? Roughly.
It depends how you count. If you count gross or net. So gross meaning all the revenue we get, or net if we exclude the revenues that we have to pay to brokers. So if we
Gross is a better number.
gross, then mortgage is much bigger than the classifieds.
Right, and then if you take the net, so the payout?
Then it's still smaller scale, but similar scale, but smaller.
So roughly what percentage are you paying out to the brokers?
If they get the lead themselves, so that doesn't come from us, then we get 20% of the commission they get. If we provide the lead, then it's roughly 50-50.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for the panel discussion. It's been fantastic to listen to. So, Jared,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amit and Laura, thank you very much.
Thank you.